The Sir Lancelot. This weapon has been barely covered on my channel. I made a best perks video for it a long time ago. I'm being told by my chat viewers that that video is bad. It could be true. That was recorded a long time ago. Melees have never been my specialty, and loadouts have changed a lot. And I've also covered this weapon one time when the Scrapper Spear came out, and that might have been the best perks video. The fact that I don't remember is kind of my point. This is an extra video. So something that happens on my channel sometimes is that I'll make the videos I want to make. I usually just spend the energy I have when it comes up, and I record in batches, usually on stream, Twitch link down below, and that's kind of what you guys get on the channel. However, some viewers, like Zaku Fox, sponsors videos. This is not ever necessary. I don't require anybody to pay me to make videos. This was his idea, but sometimes a viewer will kick in like 50 bucks to have me record a video that I had no plans of making. So you guys can thank him for sponsoring a special video. I'd already recorded like 3 videos today, and he just added one to the list. So thank you to Zaku for sponsoring this, and thank you to AS407 for providing me a couple of loadouts for the Sir Lancelot. We're going to be doing a 2-part video as per usual. We're going to be doing a Bright Core Paleo Luna build, and then a, double crit damage Sunbeam Totally Rockin' Out build. So kind of a compare and contrast. So we're going to be starting with Paleo Luna. This is the build for the weapon. Double attack speed, water, because we'll be in a fire zone. And then crit damage is kind of a curious choice, but because the weapon has a base crit chance of 25%, it's actually kind of viable. And we have Affliction on there for a couple of reasons. One, Affliction is incredibly strong on melee. It kind of doubles your damage. Well, it adds the damage of the weapon per second almost. That's not strictly accurate. There's a whole formula, but it's a lot. That's kind of the point. And of course, we also have Affliction because of one of the few spear impacting heroes in the entire game is Deadly Lotus Luna. She gives you a 25% damage bonus versus afflicted enemies, and that'll be easy enough. So the rest of this is super simple. If you guys want my best ninja loadout video, link to that down below. It covers pretty much swords, ideally, because they're kind of the best, but it's basically my overview of melee builds in general. That's a good resource down below. If you've seen that video, you'll recognize this is a very basic Luna build. She adds current health to melee weapons, so the faster we attack, the better. That's why we're using a double attack speed build instead of attack speed, crit rating, crit damage, because that extra attack speed gets so much damage from Luna that's it's awesome. And Blast from the Past, of course, makes our health very high. The more health we have, the more effective Luna is. And then we got Saurian Hide just to activate the team perk and give us some armor, which will be great. And then Saurian Vigor, just because you can't do much here. There is a heavy attack with this spear. It used to be able to push smashers around. I'm being told that might not still be the case, but regardless, it won't be our main attack. So I feel like Triceratops is like the only thing that does anything here. Some extra healing it's not a lot of healing, but it is something, so I'll take it. And then Battle Beat, because attacking faster makes us do more damage. Almost always getting that damage bonus and melee bonus. It's awesome. Going Coconuts is great. I know you can only hold 8 nowadays, but it heals you for 30 your health and residual healing for 30 seconds. It's super good, even not to mention the 16% damage bonus. So yeah, pretty straightforward build. And I'll talk about the Totally Rockin' Out build in the second part of the video. Timestamps will be down below if you want to skip ahead, but let's just hop in game and see how good this weapon is. I haven't used this in years. I'm going to hop straight into the defense after this, but I got the health boost because more health means more damage. And I don't always do that in my Paleo Luna showcases, and there's not a good reason why, so I'm doing it this time. All right, couple things to note. We got some light traps down, just a couple of tunnels with some floor freeze. We had a teammate who does not seem to care that I'm recording a video. And Boom Base is also active, which is honestly fine. So let's see how good this is. Okay, yeah, so... oh my god. Yeah, anything with Paleo Luna and double attack speed is probably gonna shred. And you can see this is how strong Affliction is. I hit that enemy one time, and there's a teammate's drone. Again, they don't seem to care that I'm recording a video, but yeah, and keeping health up is a little tough, but healing pads are pretty cheap nowadays. And I say nowadays because the resources they use aren't really used much else. That was a smasher, by the way. Holy crap. And I did put down some of those electric fields out there, so I am getting residual damage from that. And that's important because that will help me get Battle Beat active more often. But look at that. Wow. Wow. Like, that's viable. Oh, man, my team. I'm keeping my cool for the camera, but they're watching the stream. They really need to know, like... the whole point of queuing this mission was to not have smashers get exploded in front of me. Was that 500,000 damage per hit? No, that couldn't have been. He would have died. But okay, looks like he's giving me some rest here. So that might have been traps. I put those down as well. But you guys can see this weapon is absolutely shredding. Now, in a normal setting, every teammate should be doing as much as they can to kill the enemies as fast as possible. That is completely fine. I'm never going to harp on a teammate for helping the team. But as I'm trying to showcase this weapon, I like to see what it can do on its own, just to get a baseline. And you guys can tell that I'm doing something a little different from my normal 160s, where I'm not showing any 160 gameplay. Because I went into this knowing I was going to record 2 parts, I figured I would just get 2 defenses in here. And so far, I'm impressed, especially considering my health has been low this entire time. I've been lazily not eating coconuts. Healing pads are affordable nowadays, and it's really good to just see them doing a good job. And yeah, this is kind of shredding. Let me see if there are any bigger targets lurking out here, because I feel like that's where I want to go and hang out. So there we go. Smasher. I did kind of run over here suddenly. If my teammates aren't, paying attention, they'll shoot it right in front of me. But you can see, like, even with a little bit of help, like, this thing is doing enough of the work that it's totally viable. If you guys have been bored with your current melee choices in the game, and the Sir Lancelot is a weapon that's just been collecting dust in your inventory, thank you, teammates, I honestly think this could easily be something you should try out. And let's try that heavy attack I mentioned earlier. So that was weird and glitchy. That's what I was told. So he's frozen. He's not going to behave normally. Let's do you right here. So when you're lunging forward, it's pretty much like a bull rush built into the weapon, and then you're doing all the normal damage on the other end of it. So let me find a more full health enemy. So, okay. It looks like that doesn't shove the Smasher around. I wonder if they nerfed it. I have heard of some bugs that I won't exactly mention that might have led to the devs nerfing that heavy attack. But yeah, so far, I'm kind of impressed. Now, normally I'd make a cut here, but I don't remember the name of the person. Whoever ran the anomaly earlier dropped me their blue glow and gave me some of that so I can just start the mission whenever. And yeah, we got a message coming in from Zaku.
Charge into a riot husky.
Charge into a riot husky. Did it just go straight through the riot shield? Okay. I'm genuinely impressed, by the way. Like, that's kind of a good ability. That probably is why... So, Fossil Southie was in the original loadout that AS said, but I like that. A melee where you can just disarm a riot husky? Okay. All right, this is giving me some ear splitter vibes. Link to that video in the description down below. That was another fantastic loadout that AS sent me. He sent me that as a way to turn me to the side of the ear splitter, and he was successful. I think I titled that video something along the lines of I was wrong about the ear splitter, because I was. It was so much stronger than I realized, and look at that damage. By the way, right there at the end, I wasn't even attacking it. I had poked it once, and that's just affliction. That was 300,000 damage per tick, and then like 270. Like, that's how strong affliction can be. This is essentially one-shotting all the different enemies, and I'm swinging super fast because of battle beat, and I'm doing damage per swing. Oh, I was just about to say I'm hoping for... Wow! A killable mini-boss! I can actually demonstrate this weapon going full tilt on a mini-boss. First, let's get the healing hoe out of the way. There we go. Okay. All right, so it is a tank mini-boss. I need that to be said. Tank mini-bosses will take half damage from all attacks. They don't have more health. They just take half damage. And I am losing a little bit of health here, but more or less, I know I've got traps and a couple of teammates, but more or less soloing a mini-boss. That is pretty impressive. Not every melee can do that. Wow. Honestly, I love these moments. Like, you'd think I'm some egotistical jerk who hates being wrong. No, I love it. Like, I leveled up 2 copies of this weapon for this video. You might have noticed Bright Core and Sunbeam. Technically speaking, Bright Core is better with Paleoluna when you're at full health, because yeah, the weapon will do less damage, but we're running double attack speed just to farm Paleoluna anyway. So by swinging 10% faster, that directly translates into extra damage from the weapon. Now, can we lunge to get back quicker? Okay, that does like 400,000 damage, and then there were some 500,000 ticks in there. Like, that's a lot of damage. That might have... It wasn't a trap. Okay, wow. Like, that was... Let me just look at the damage a little more closely here. So, 300, 170, it's very chaotic. That was 470. So, it looks like if we crit... Like, that's a lot of damage. I'm not even attacking it anymore. Some light trapping. So, the traps finished it off, but... The affliction is so good. Like, and then, of course, the riot huskies are not scary anymore, because you can just turn them into a meat kebab. Wow. That is really satisfying. And then, of course, if you know, are defending in an area where a healing pad is nearby, even 2 healing pads. This has all been from 1 healing pad. You just put down a second one, and you're pretty much good. Riot Huskies get the lunge attack. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of this. Yeah. So I'm using a Bright Core copy here just because it's technically stronger. That is at a certain threshold. The math varies from weapon to weapon. The one time the math was done was by a friend of mine, Sarah. she concluded that, oh, don't do, okay. My teammates are trying to help, but they're inadvertently over-representing the weapon. The reason I had placed one healing pad in the beginning was to show this weapon kind of with one healing pad. You know what? I guess we did that. So thank you, teammate. Now we can just see how this weapon is when I'm fully stocked up, because what you guys have been experiencing in this video and what I've been experiencing killing here is Paleo Luna when she's constantly losing health and being less than 100% effective. But thank you to my helpful teammates. You can see I'm constantly getting topped up on health, which means I'm always doing Paleo Luna's full damage, and you can see a lot more of those 500,000 damage ticks. So I was about to complain, but thank you, teammates. You guys are just trying to help. I appreciate that. And so Brightcore is technically better up until a certain point. Like so the Ravager math was done by my friend Sarah, and she concluded that 963,000 health was the break point where Sunbeam Ravager was suddenly better. So long as you keep your health up, Brightcore is better with Luna, but because we're just doing weapon damage with the Totally Rockin' Out build, Sunbeam makes a lot more sense. And I have to apologize again. All the traps that I whined about in the beginning, I ended up not even going over there more than once, so you guys didn't deserve that. Either way, let's hop into the next game, and, well, no, let's hop into the next loadout, show you guys what that's going to look like, and then we'll hop into the Totally Rockin' Out section of the video. And here is the Totally Rockin' Out build. So I'm using Lotus Assassin Sarah. She is identical to Assassin Sarah. This is just the founder's skin, and I'm going to use her because I have her. She essentially gives you a 90% damage bonus in the lead once you stacked up to 5, and that is super easy to keep it up. Fumble and Battle Beat, we already explained Battle Beat and why she's awesome. Same thing with Luna deal. Like in the support, she's still having the amount of kills needed for Battle Beat, which is great. Fumble is pretty obvious. When we kill an enemy, we can activate Totally Rockin' Out. Totally Rockin' Out will make us crit a lot, and it will heal us, which is super nice. Of course, with Luna and support, more health means more damage, and Monster Smash will keep us alive, and Saurian Hide will keep us alive. I'm also noticing that we don't necessarily have poking holes in support. Is that something that we need? I consulted AS407, the creator of this loadout, and he insisted that poking holes is just not necessary. We're already getting such a crazy damage bonus from Lotus Assassin that the extra 25% would be negligible, and it seems as though staying alive with Saurian Hide is just going to be just as useful, especially since we're in an Acid Pools mission. Now onto that other copy. So Sunbeam, as mentioned, we're doing double crit damage and 1 attack speed perk. Hopefully Battle Beat should make up for that reduced swing speed, but by critting harder we'll be doing more damage, and that's pretty much it. The perks are nearly identical other than Sunbeam and Brightcore. So same as before, let's hop in game and check it out. All right, I was going to get some pylons and I was going to cut straight to the defense, but I mean, we got encampment here, so let's just jump straight into the deep end. And they all are power level 250 enemies. So wow, that is a ridiculous amount of damage. I know they're not aiming at me, which is kind of convenient, but that is so much. I like that we have a little bit of range with this weapon. I mean, the lunge isn't really faster than just sprinting towards them, but still, let's clean up this encampment and enjoy the rewards. Where are they going? All right, that's the health boost. And I couldn't help myself. We're going into another encampment since it was right here. I'm glad to get the football early because that really just kicks things off. Gets me attacking fast, critting a lot, and every enemy near me is just dying so easily. Every single swing is just death for a certain death for an enemy. Okay, well, that was one of the easiest encampments I've done in a while. Looking really good for this weapon. All right, and the shield, which we obviously skipped last time because we didn't have shield. Okay, yeah, I don't care how late game I get. Always gonna grab some Sunbeam. Of course, let's get the defense started. All right, got a similar defense as before. We had a wide open area here, so something I recommend doing is putting it in a little box like this. I just have a nice little 2x3 going on here, and then in the middle, I've just got a bunch of cones edited to, you know, move the enemies away. Basically, this entire outer field will be funneled into this area over here, or around my corner over here, and then I place ceiling electric fields there and there. And for these floor freeze, I place them directionally. So I place them facing this way because when an enemy freezes, they'll be stumbled backwards. In fact, maybe we can show that happening over here. So if we drag an enemy in and he gets bored and walks the other way. Okay, apparently I didn't make good enough defenses. All right, he really isn't interested in me because the defense is this way. There we go. Yeah, so he'll hit the floor freeze, get frozen in place. He'll be taking 25% more damage while frozen, and then he'll actually stumble backwards. So for these fatter targets, that's actually a perma-freeze. He will never, ever get through. So we can just poke him once, and then he dies. So yeah, I don't know how many of my viewers needed that, but I've gotten some requests for trap guides to come back on the channel. If that's something you're interested in, maybe let me know. Oh, we got a command coming in here from Zaku.
Says, more Riot Husky bullying.
Right, well, hey, you're gonna get that right away. So let's just dive straight into that. Instant, oh, I thought it killed in one hit. If I crit, it would have. So basically we just need to get the ball rolling. We're going to get healed from Toy Rockin' Out. We've got our shield and health boosted. You can see shield just went by immediately, which is basically why we have Prehistoric Iza. We know that as a melee user, we're going to have no shield for a lot of it. Arlene Iza is only generating health every time we do damage with our weapons. I don't know if I showed here clearly. I might have gotten distracted with the build, but Arlene Iza, I'll show her on the screen in the edit because I'm not killing anything. Okay, back to gameplay. She is really good at converting your weapon damage into health. So teammates, if you guys can cover the southwest side, I probably won't be over there, but let's see how well we can do versus a smasher. I'm not currently activated with Toy Rockin' Out, and you know, pretty lackluster showing there. I need to get Toy Rockin' Out active, so I'm gonna try and do that and then turn straight around so we can use some of that boosted damage. Yeah, there we go. Once we've got once we've got all those extra crits coming in, here we go. So let's just bully through all of these enemies right here, step on the football, and do everything we can to a smasher. That is for a melee. For a spear that I have largely disregarded as a weapon to use, this is pretty impressive. I mean, that's a 250 smasher. These guys have 5.3 million health, or is it 4.8? I don't know. Link to the enemy stat spreadsheet down below. Super useful resource for, you know, enemy health values, but it's a big number, and that is a lot of damage to dish out in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, the blaster is basically just like any fatty zombie, and spears, like many melee. So all my intuition tells me, okay, all right, heavy attack didn't want to work. All my intuition tells me to jump over Riot Huskies, and yet it's just not necessary with this build. Frozen and Toy Rockin' Out, yeah. It's not like this weapon needs a 25%, you know, damage bonus from the frost, but yeah. Note, the 25% frost damage, I believe, is a separate value from your weapon damage. So you're actually getting, I believe, a true 25% damage bonus, whereas the 25% damage from afflicted from the Poke and Holes hero perk probably would not have been a true 25%. That's why I disregarded it so much earlier. It's just because of the way that damage stacks and stacks and stacks. Like, instead of, so here's what's happening. If we're doing 100 damage with our weapon, Assassin Sarah is boosting us up to about 190. Poke and Holes would bring us from 190 to a 215% damage bonus, whereas the Floor Freeze would have 25% on top of 190, which would be like 48 extra damage instead of, you know, 25. So it just affects things a lot better. So yeah, did I do that math right? Like, I'm a little hungry at the end of my day. Is this how my brain can work when I start cutting out fast food? Because our gameplay is about to end. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that right now. If we're adding 190 times 1.25, oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty, you know, that's about 47.5. I'll take 0.5% off. I'll take that. So yeah, Floor Freeze will add like a lot more extra damage than, you know, and obviously we're not doing 100 damage here. We're doing like 500,000. So yeah, it looks like this side over here is going to be a lot more enemies, and it looks like my little square in the middle wasn't perfect. Of course I didn't upgrade it, but that would have helped, but it doesn't really seem to have been necessary. And are we getting Smasher spam again? Because, hey, thank you for the Prime sub. Again, if you guys ever want to participate in these recordings live on stream, Twitch link's down below. But I love Smashers. As a YouTuber trying to showcase a weapon, especially when I'm vaguely comparing two loadouts, I love it when big boy targets spawn, and I love it when I get consistent spawns in each game. This isn't really a Totally Rockin' Out versus Blast in the Past showcase. It's not a Totally Rockin' Out versus Blast in the Past comparison. It's really more of just a this and that showcase. So far, personally speaking, I think I definitely prefer Blast in the Past. It is dishing out... Okay, so mathematically, I'm certain Totally Rockin' Out is a higher DPS. I'm sure of it. But in-game, realistically, I think they feel the same. We're already hitting a threshold where we're doing... Oh, is that nature now? Bummer. Okay, so we're really not going to be able to affect that with this. Yeah, that's a bummer. So here's how you deal with these guys. This is why you have a pot shot of every element. I'm going to be going to my little grocery store of an inventory because fire does its full damage versus nature targets, and you do not want to use a plasmatic discharger. So plasmatic discharger does a significant, like, more amount of damage versus smashers and takers, weirdly enough. So the pot shot actually becomes quite a bit better. Interesting in that front, it's something like it does a certain amount of damage every like 2.5 seconds or something. What's the actual math on that, AS in chat? He knows the numbers. I think it's like every 1.5 seconds compared to every 0.2 seconds? That sounds about right. I'll let him correct me because he's done a lot of math on this weapon, and he has direct messaged me some glitches with these weapons that I'm scared to share with the community. I have to do that because when we find game-breaking stuff, it can annihilate the game if I share it, and I just try not to. And Epic gets mad when you share that stuff. So I think what happens is the Discharger usually does a certain tick of damage every 1.5 seconds, but versus Smashers, it's like every 0.2 seconds. And versus the Mythic Storm King end phase, it's every 0.2 seconds, which is 7.5 times stronger, and that is, of course, a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, that's the difference between 200,000 damage and... is that... yeah, like 1.5 million. So it's just, it's a lot. So when you're shooting versus a normal Husk mini-boss like that one, you actually don't want to use a Discharger. It is mathematically sound to just use the pot shot. And it looks like I got those numbers right. Man, I like that my brain is working. I'm working to cut out fast food, and it feels like I've been drugging myself for the last couple of months because I've been eating fast food pretty much every day. That includes Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, and for the first time in my life, I grew a belly. And for my personal health fitness standards, that is absolutely unacceptable. I am not body shaming. You can have whatever shape you feel is fine. As long as you think you are healthy and comfortable with your body, that's good. But you should also be honest with yourself. If you ever feel like you need to improve yourself, take those steps. And that's what I started doing immediately. I've been binging YouTube videos on how to cook, and I fried up some steak today. It's amazing. 30 bucks at the grocery store, no-name steaks. You just put it on the fryer, and 20 minutes later, you're eating freaking steak. Like good sirloin steak for $5 a slab. Pretty good. I'm actually getting hungry talking about it. But yeah, just kind of opening my brain has been really nice. I like having access to the rest of my mind. You guys might get some more videos now that I've stopped poisoning myself with fast food. Yeah, if you're somebody who eats out, like, fast food more than a couple times a week, I mean it, like, literally a couple times a week, you should look into what ultra-processed foods do to your body, because raising your chance of a heart attack by 25%, or is it 20% if you eat fast food, like, a couple times a week. It's wild. So anyway, a little random health advice, and the Sir Lancelot being a shockingly viable weapon. Thank you, Zaku, for making this video possible. Like I said, it is never ever necessary to pay me to make videos, you guys. I have my own list. But because I have my own list, if you really want me to cover something that I'm not particularly focused on right now, you know what, man? The 50 bucks will do it, okay? So if you're willing to do that, and Zaku is, this is what you get. And thank you, AS407, for providing the loadouts. You really showed this weapon at its best, and that was sweet. So with Zaku playing us out there, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate those things. Helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. If you're on, like, a binge right now, and this is the 3rd or 4th video in a row, you might want to click another one. Got a couple of recommended at the end here. And then